Axion Nation. I'm Patricia Steer. The title of this show is Dev Update and Community Celebration. It's episode number 6. Today is December 28th, 2020, and this is our last show of the year. So see you next year. 2020 was a brutal year by anyone's standard, but Axion was born in 2020, died, and rose from the ashes like the proverbial phoenix. We have a lot to be grateful for. Time to look back at the year that was, even though we haven't been here this year, and to discuss our hopes for the year to come. Joining me, as always, are Paul Lindbergh and Robbie Davis, and we're hoping for a great new year for the Axion Nation. A new announcement was posted in the Discord server, which I encourage you to join if you haven't already and follow along with the news. The announcement was from our fearless leader, Jack, and we're going to discuss that. We have a representative of the dev team as a special guest, Travis, aka T. Daly, to update us on the latest changes and what's next for Axion. And we'll have a few other community members too. Big Bear Crypto is here all the way from Panama. They're both in the green room right now, enjoying some green room champagne. I hear it's flowing back there for the new year. And we have our newbie focused crypto word of the week and a hint or two about an upcoming awesome chance for you to participate in a 2021 Axion Today thing where you can win big. I can't say anything more than that. I've been sworn to secrecy. Full details will come in a future show. We got Q&A rounding it all out. But before all of that, the disclaimer. We, the hosts of Axion Today, and our guests are not registered investment, legal, or tax advisors. The information and discussion shared today are not intended as and should not be construed as professional advice. The show is for informational and educational purposes only and for entertainment, especially when my cats show up. Always do your own research. People can and do lose money in crypto. Robbie and Paul, so good to see you. Happy New Year, and hope you had a good holiday.
Yeah, it was incredible, and I can't believe that we're days away from the end of 2020.
I know. This year seems like the longest year ever and also the shortest year ever. It's a weird mixed feeling. Do you feel the same?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. A train crash in slow motion in ways, but it's also very quick.
That's it. Our lives flash before our very eyes, and we realize how little of them we've actually lived until we weren't allowed to live them as normal. So hopefully that'll happen to us again soon sometime where we can get back to some semblance of normal. I want to thank our moderators, and since Big Bear Crypto is in our green room, I hope the chat isn't going insane with crazy people, but I want to say hi to who's in there now: Bags Full and Victor Korea, Effie Viking and Ashimwa Brian and Andy Wales and Zuri09. Thank you all for being here, and those who are yet to join us. So yeah, guys, when I mentioned earlier about Jack putting an announcement up, I think that that's something that we could talk about to start, because the mechanics of Axion have changed. In fact, 25 million things have changed. So we should probably look under the hood.
They just changed like a couple hours ago. I mean, huge changes just took place. It's so exciting. I don't know, Paul, maybe you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, 2020 is, ending with something big, of course, with Axion. It was cool to see the devs doing another open heart surgery earlier today, this morning for me. And and to see those changes happening live is just so cool. So again, hats off to the devs, the dev team for all their great work. And man, they implemented the proposal that was voted on by the community so quickly. We're going to have T. Daly on here shortly to kind of walk us through those specifics and what has changed and what's next. So it was just so cool to see, who else. I see this in the stream, the live chat that they do, or excuse me, the live stream that they do in the chat. People are commenting like, what other crypto project does this? Does this stuff live?
Anyone does it live.
Nobody does this live.
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
Live.
So cool.
It's open heart surgery, open for all to see happen. So not done behind closed doors, which is cool. Well, we have the announcement that Jack put out. Should I read it?
Yeah. Why don't we start with that, and then we'll bring Travis in to explain it all to us.
Okay. First, this major network upgrades are underway now. In the announcement section of Discord, this was posted by Jax. Number 1, Hex free claim limitations to only 10 billion Axion more. Number 2, auto stake increased to 60 days. Number 3, change in auction Uniswap discount rate. Number 4, change the auction pool to spread the 250 billion inflation over 5 years instead of only 1. And the big payday is 1 billion times better. So those are the things that were posted. We can, break that down and discuss it more in detail. I don't know. Is there anything else we need to discuss before we to bring T. Daly in? He's been on our show before, so he's familiar with it.
I'm sure he can answer pretty much all the questions that we have or go into more details on everything that kind of took place. But yeah, it was just incredible work. But huge thanks to the entire community dev team and just seeing how quickly they implemented it. And that's the exciting part of this. Moving into 2021, this project can adapt, with layer 2 solutions put in place. That's the incredible thing, is all these things that the community wants to see happen, that's voted on, gets to see it realized in a very, very short time. So it's an exciting future to be able to adapt to the trends, changing times, things that are, on the horizon in the future. We can adapt very quickly. And that makes it incredibly bullish, in my opinion.
Absolutely. 100%. The fact that, things can change so quickly in this space, and, the community's needs and changing and all of that, being able to adapt as things come along is so huge. And then it is still trustless. There is not one person that has all of the control. It takes a team of people to do that and to approve it. So I think anybody that's hung around at any length, with this project sees how transparent it is, how it is community focused, and that the leadership team, starting with Jack and on down, is that focused on that community aspect and doing what's best for the project overall is that key component. So exciting! Cannot wait to see what 2021 holds for Axion.
They say about projects that they can rot from the top down, but this one is flourishing from the top down. So we are really so fortunate in that regard that we have Jack, who is transparent with what's going on, and the voting that we spoke of on our last show. You know what I'm saying? All of it went so smoothly, so well, and the results were overwhelmingly to go ahead with all of the things that were discussed by Scott in our last show. So that doesn't mean to discount anybody who voted nay on some of the proposals, but it was overwhelmingly yay on the proposals. So
that's right. All right. Well,
let's do it. Oh, the crypto newbie word of the week. Let's do that because it fits right in with our guest who we're about ready to bring in.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, he's got the snacks and the drinks flowing back there with Big Bear Crypto. I hear some champagne corks popping back there. Yikes. Anyway, the word is dev. We've used it a few times already, and it's even in our title. Let's not forget that some people won't know what the word dev means. Just a few short months ago, I had no idea what the word dev means. So let's get T. Daly, Travis in here, say hello to him because he is a dev, and ask him to define the word dev for us.
Hey guys.
There he is.
Hello.
How you doing?
He's in the closet, so.
Yeah. All three of them asked me separately, can I put more lights on myself? But I told them, guys, I'm a dev. I work in the closet.
You work in the dark. You work in the dark. Got it. Welcome, Travis.
First clue what a dev is.
Yeah,
that's right.
They work in the closet. But how would you define it to somebody who had no idea? You'd say, "Hey, I'm a dev for Axion," and what would you tell them that is?
I guess I would describe a dev as someone who develops the product, doesn't necessarily come up with the idea, but is kind of like hired to make the product a reality.
Developer, pretty much.
Developer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Developer in the dark.
Developer. There's a lot of different type of developers for sure.
Yeah.
But,
not a real estate developer though.
What's the main language that this stuff is developed in? Just for people out there, not that they would know what it is, but it's good just to know. Is it
so most of I have a question. Can you guys hear my messages going off or no dings? Okay, perfect.
No dings.
Just want to make sure. So the code is written in Solidity. Solidity is the Ethereum language. It was designed by Vitalik or one of his guys, and most of like like an Ethereum itself was actually built in C, but anything built on the Ethereum network is actually built in Solidity.
Got
Great.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Perfect.
All right. Well, let's jump right in because I know there's some folks that obviously were watching the live stream earlier, but maybe some other ones that are going to watch this, that are watching the show live, or maybe watch it later, that are like, "Hey, what's another update?" We're doing this every week now, right? Axion is changing with the times very quickly. So I'm going to share my screen here and bring up the ecosystem upgrade of the day, Travis. And so we talked a little bit this morning. You kind of gave me some kind of bullets, I guess, to make sure that we touch on. And I think the first one was, and we heard you on the live stream say it a bunch, especially at the beginning, was about this auction manager. Can you kind of talk a little bit about what that is and what was the change with the auction?
Yeah, so the auction manager was basically how we implemented this new protocol to allow us to mint up to 250 billion, no more than 250 billion, but it allows us to mint up to 250 billion, 50 billion of which is going to be used for the BPD. And that way we have like a set number, as well as, any penalties that come off of people early on staking and stuff like that. And then the other 200 billion is meant for the auction over the next 5 years. And so the auction manager is actually another contract. So right now, before this, Axion actually had 7 contracts, which at this point I've memorized. And auction manager has now become our 8th contract.
Wow. Okay. And the changes then, I mean, what do people that are going to the UI are going to see? What specifically are they going to notice that's changed?
Nothing. There's no UI changes, no contract changes, no nothing. That is the beauty of, layer 2 is, we didn't have to do, you guys had to do nothing. We were able to implement this without any big changes at all. But I will just quickly put out there, the venture auction is going to definitely have a couple of UI changes.
Cool. We're going to be talking about that. Mm-hmm. All right. Should we go to the second one then?
Go for it.
There it is. So 250 million people that maybe didn't notice, if you go to the staking portal right now, or the auction portal, I guess, and notice the amount of Axion available in today's auction has gone up by 250 million. Not 250 billion. I know there was almost some extra zeros thrown in there, but you guys settled on 250 million for today.
Mm-hmm.
Talk us through that.
So yeah, it was actually I think Pete C. He's one of our new initiates. He was all like, "Hey, maybe we should just put 250 million Axion on the auction today." And we all agreed. Jack agreed, and we went forward with the idea. So we decided to add that 250 million today. Hopefully it sells out. I guess we'll see. If it doesn't, it'll be in the weekly auction. But yeah, I mean, now I think people will be able to plan more ahead. That we have an auction coming up in 2 days, going to be 250 million. Then an auction after that, 250 million. I think we're still going to need to engage with the community to decide if we want to do 4 a week at 250 million, or if we want to do less and less. But I think as the price of Axion continues to grow, we'll probably do less and less. But in the meantime, I think it makes sense to maybe do 1 billion a week, and then as the price does what it does.
Yeah, and then that's kind of the point, was right. This was the auction manager change is going to allow us as a community then to determine kind of how do we kind of spread out all of those auctions. What's available, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So if it doesn't sell out today, what happens to the excess?
It goes to the weekly auction.
Okay, so for Friday, if we still see that as being kind of the catch-all then for what doesn't sell out in the week.
Yeah, and I think that makes the most sense. Anything that doesn't sell out, ends up in the weekly auction for that big auction pool. But I don't think we're going to see another, 12 billion auction.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think we can all.
That was the point.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the 250 million, is that every day?
No,
just the billion spread out, whatever that is.
So that's exactly what we need to engage the community with is okay. What does the community feel, after the first week of us having 1 billion, 250 million for 4 days, how does the community feel about it? And then eventually, we would like to automate it rather than Jack having to go to his computer every every day and be like, oh, I have to add another 250 million in type of thing. Or
Yeah.
actually, no, it wouldn't actually be Jack. Sorry. Part of our upgrade, which I'm sure we'll get to, is we added the managers to the Gnosis safe. So not one person can control the system anymore.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a part of that. Yeah, so I mean, if we're talking 50 billion a year, well, the big paydays were 350 days apart, so roughly 50 weeks, right? So 50 billion for 50 weeks is, we want to kind of roll out about $1 billion a week into these auctions. That's the idea, I assume, and see how the community and the general population does, as far as converting their Ethereum into Axion and staking it via the auction. So let's roll over to the next one. We heard this a lot in determining what we're going to do about this discount, Uniswap, in the auction discount, that sort of thing. We're at par now. So what does that mean?
So it's funny, after we had our meeting about the upgrades, I was in the Gen voice. I'm like, all right, guys, this is what you want to vote on. And in Gen voice, I was like, guys, I have no idea what this means. I'm so confused. But after today, I understand what you guys voted on. So basically, the discount rate is now set to 0%. For now, at least. But that doesn't mean there's not still a discount. Invite your friend, get his 10% bonus. Get his 20% bonus. He gets 10% bonus. So it's not like there isn't a discount. There's still technically a discount if you refer. But as for the discount rate, there is no more discount rate. And we didn't add a premium either. So that's basically what the discount rate is now. It's just at par. It's the same exact as the Uniswap 7 day daily average.
7-day daily average. Okay. That's something I think the community, there's probably a bunch that totally understand it. And I'll admit that I don't fully, could break that down, the 7-day average and how that plays into the auction price and all that. That might be something that we kind of double click on at a later date to really understand how the auction works. How is the price determined when you go in versus.
So think about this, right? So technically we're at the price 128, right? Today. And in a week from now, we have an auction that has 250 million in there, and the 7-day average is actually, now we're at a 1.7, but the current price of Axion is 2.1. Then it's going to be very beneficial to get into that auction, because you don't just get the discount from it being a 7-day average price is lower than Uniswap. You can also get that discount from the referral. But now, we've also added that barrier of like the auto stake duration of 60 days. And so that keeps you in the coin, and it keeps us from that arbitrage that we were seeing at the beginning.
Got it. Okay. And that's, I think, the next one, talking about the fact that when you do now go and bid in the auction, when it ends and you come out of that with your Axion, it's a lot longer than 14 days now.
Yeah. So I think we are already seeing people want to have the idea of having a slider to determine their auto stake duration. I think Mike's going to be on here maybe later and talking about this, about his idea where, based on how long your stake duration is, maybe you can get some sort of discount. That's also something maybe we can talk about. But yeah, so right now the auction auto stake length is a fixed 60 days. In the dev team, Jack was already asking, so like, is that possible to like change like per base or case by case scenario? And so that's something I think we're probably gonna add in the immediate future.
I think it makes sense, and it's something obviously the community is going to have to vote on in any sort of change. But if the minimum is 60, great. But I think it'd be cool that if I was going to, dump some Ethereum in and as part of my staking strategy, I'm going to end up staking it anyway, whether it was going to be in 14 days under the old contract or 60 days now. What if I wanted to stake for a year or 5 years or 5 days? That I could bid my Ethereum and I could change that. Obviously, the minimum is 60 right now, but I could slide that up to 5,555 days and put my Ethereum in, knowing that whatever I come out with my Axion, it's going to be staked for that duration, and be able to choose what that is. I think that's just really cool, customizable way to interact with the contract.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. The next one. Oh, there's a change to the free claims if you're a Hex holder.
Yes, so we're giving the Hex holders up to 30 days to free claim their Hex now. So January 28th is when we will get rid of the Hex free claim altogether. We've also capped it to 10 billion. So as of this current moment, there's only 10 billion worth of Axion able to be free claimed from Hex free claimers now.
That's
So
it.
pretty
fair.
simple update.
It sounds like fair. There's been a fair amount of time for everybody that's involved in Hex to come on over and get it if they want to get it.
Mm-hmm.
If people from Hex want to kind of protest the fact that Axion exists by I'm not going to free claim kind of mentality, that's their right. All three of us on Axion today are Hex holders. Hex is how we got into Axion, and we love Hex, and we definitely claimed it. So, and we support Hex. So, yeah, I hope the Hex holders get on board.
It's
and if they don't, what happens? That just pools into the big paydays or the auctions, or it's just open.
It's just gone.
It's just gone.
That's
Okay.
burned Axion essentially.
It's burnt. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's burned.
I want to clarify that. So that billion is burnt if it's not claimed.
You'd be a fool not to take free money.
I mean, technically it was never minted, so it just
Correct.
doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
It doesn't exist. Okay, gotcha.
All right, cool. Yeah, it's good to know. So
there it is, 28th of
if you
January. Tell your Hex friends, anybody, they have till January 28th to get their free claimed Axion.
Or don't tell them.
Or don't tell them. Yeah.
don't tell them.
Either
It's time for them to, make a decision. Maybe some of them were thinking, wait and see how things go, or if it's safe, or whatever their excuse was. Well, now their decision is going to have to be made a lot quicker.
I mean, quite honestly, a lot of people are saying, hey, why should we tell them? It's going to be burnt anyway, so it doesn't really affect us. You could say, well, maybe they're going to dump on us in a year's time. But myself and many Bitcoin claimed Hex, when that came out, they also bought in. So I'm a firm believer that if all of a sudden someone, gets something, they free claim it, they're sitting back and they're watching that project. And then they're like, hey, wait a minute, maybe I'm going to toss a bit into it. Right. So I still think it's a good strategy to tell people about it, because I think they're one of the easiest to convert. If they free claim, they're already going to be watching. They're probably going to buy some. I did the same thing with Hex. Many others do the same thing. So I think that's initially what's behind the free claim. It's going away in 30 days. So, there's not really much to worry about, but I think it's definitely a better strategy to have people free claim, because quite honestly, they get the itch and they're like, nah, maybe I'll throw a few ETH in, and all of a sudden now they're just part of the ecosystem, and now they're comparing and they're watching, but at least they're now kind of a believer. A lot of people from Hex have come over. It's staggering when you start actually talking to different people. There's a lot of people that are in Axion because of Hex. So I think there's still, that segment out there that maybe have heard disinformation about Axion. All of a sudden now they know they only have 30 days left. It's one thing when you got a whole year. Well, I'll see if it goes to zero in the next month or two. Now there's like a real ticking clock going on where they only have 30 days. So my suggestion is, if you know someone, tell them it's going away. That's it. They can get in or not, but it's up to them.
And make sure they know that
if you don't claim things that are free, you're an idiot.
Well
said, Richard. Yeah, well said, Richard Hart. Right there.
That never gets old.
Every once in a while, Richard jumps on just to remind us that you need to take the free money.
You do.
Exactly.
You do.
I'm looking at the live chat, and there's someone here who says Hex is a superior product. It wasn't functional. Axion wasn't functional when it was launched. Well, he is a person who we're very glad to have him here, of course, that he's just been a victim of misinformation. Axion was fully functional. We had a sneak attack on the project, had nothing to do with any flaws in any sort of code. And hopefully that information is out to everyone. But as we see, Do D1040 is under the impression that it was flawed. And, it was the fault of the people in Axion who created the project that it went bad. Well, it didn't go bad. We're back. And there was an actual thief who was working with one of the dev teams that we don't really use anymore. And the thief was actually, found out his name and everything. So the project's solid. We are here. We are still here.
Oh, yeah. We're moving forward. We're getting stronger than ever. That's just the end of the story. And if someone wants to spread FUD or misinformation, they can do it all they want. That's fine. But really, if you have Hex, you can free claim it for free. There's really no risk whatsoever when you're free claiming something for free. But we can move on from the Hex free claims, but that's all I'll say is it's crazy if you're not.
If I could also say, I think one of our big things about the layer 2 is we're trying to move away from Hex. We're not trying to be Hex, like Hex is its own product, and it should continue to be its own product. We can live in an ecosystem where there's multiple products that are doing the same thing. So
100%. I mean, just look at the ETH ecosystem just around ETH itself, right? There's a lot of projects that operate. I mean, look at what's happening right now in just crypto in general. Bitcoin is moving. All of a sudden now ETH is starting to move, and then the alt season, guys, it's coming. 2021. Everyone's going to benefit. Again, if there's good code and good projects, the entire crypto ecosystem benefits. This whole tribal mentality sometimes gets tiring because look, man, we got to basically get this message out to the whole world. And a lot of people are going to be looking into crypto in 2021. Mark my words on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
It's gone mainstream, really. And everywhere you look, normies are learning about it. And I know that because I was a normie and here I am. And so it's going to explode. People like me are in crypto.
That's right. If people like Patricia are in crypto, trust me, they're coming in. They're coming in huge.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right. Well, big payday.
Woo.
Looks like you guys did a little bit of a test. You just sent 1 billion there, but that's kind of a test, right? Or is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, that was kind of like a test. I mean, we knew it was going to work. I think we just wanted to. We were actually more so testing the Gnosis Safe Manager address because we were trying. Because I don't know who was watching the stream, but we were all like, wait a second. We have to use the admin or the proxy admin, not the implementation address, because the proxy admin is where all the data is living. And so we actually we were more so sending it to the big payday to test that Gnosis safe, the multi-sig, make sure no one, we have that trustless environment. But yeah, we will be adding the 50 billion to big payday soon. I think just to kind of keep people on their toes, maybe we'll do like 5 billion a week, or maybe like 100 million here, 2 million there. You know what I mean? Just whatever works best. And then eventually, that 50 billion will get added to big payday.
Do we know? Sorry to interrupt, but do we know the actual total? It's one thing to keep adding and keep people on their toes, but do we know the exact total split out by 5 years?
So that wait, sorry, say that again. What do you mean the exact total?
Do we know the total? Like, do we know the total of the big paydays?
Yeah,
approximate.
It's 50 billion. So 50 billion spread out between 5 years, which 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, 30% for year 1 through 5.
So you could tell people basically the big payday split over 5 years is 50 billion in total.
Yes, plus any penalties for unstaking, because I believe that penalties from unstaking should also end up in the big payday, unless
doesn't that actually go into the auctions, or have you changed that?
No, that does go into the auction. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Misinformation in my head. Yeah, so it'll be 50 billion over 5 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So 50 billion, and that's the total. There's nothing else moving in there, which it shouldn't, because my understanding was that anybody emergency unstaking, it's going into the auction pools.
Exactly. Just as the white paper states. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. And speaking of white paper, is there a lot of changes being made, or is that already updated? Do you know?
So there's a lot of changes getting made. I'm sure, I think Paul has a little bit of information to share with everyone. But yeah, the white paper is getting updated, and some other good things are in the pipeline.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. I didn't know I was sharing anything about the white paper. Sorry.
I just want to say that because sometimes these changes get made and all of a sudden like, hey, it hasn't been updated.
I know they're getting worked on. I know the white paper is being updated.
Yeah. Part of the development team, like when you guys are doing stuff, and you're probably already doing this, is to have another team that basically makes sure that the white paper, because that's kind of the official documentation of anything that's done. I mean, if someone really wasn't on Discord and they weren't on Telegram, they're going to click on that white paper, and anything there, if there's an update or anything in there, it should be in the white paper. That's kind of the official documentation.
And I mean, look at that. I just tried to spread misinformation. You want the exact information? Go read our white paper.
There we go.
Good question in the chat, or at least I think it's a good question. Andy Wales says, is that 1 billion divided across the 5 big paydays? Remember, we talked about the 5 big paydays as part of what's going to be coming up.
So it's 50 billion. So it's, the 1 billion is spread across, not equally, but it's spread across. If you read the white paper, you'll know it's 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, and 30% in terms of year 1 through 5. And that's will basically be the 50 billion. So if we just do quick math real quick, 50 billion going into the BPD, 10% of that is going to be 5 billion. So we should expect 5 billion to get paid out on the first BPD, and then you guys do the rest of the math.
Yeah.
But that's
15, 20, 25, and 30. Yeah. So it's pays to, as we all know, pays to stake longer, to get as much of that as you possibly can, within your,
The crypto
strategy.
newbie could just get in as early as they can to Axion and stake for pretty long, and then really literally walk away. They don't have to be, I mean, we love everyone in Discord. We love everybody watching this. We love all of this participation with the community, but you really wouldn't have to. You just stake and bake, and make sure to keep track of the dates that your stakes come on.
Stake and bake. I like that.
Stake and bake. Well, that's the thing though too, right? Is if all of a sudden you're in there for the big paydays, understand that if you stake for a year, just after that big payday, and you unstake and you get out, you're getting in with less shares for your big payday number 2, right? So, I mean, we're going to get into shares, shake and bake. We're going to get into it a little bit, but I have a question as well. As far as the shares, I know this was a question that people were bringing up. Has the share rate been addressed as far as, and
Good
also
question.
if it has, what's the calculation methodology that's happening in order to calculate the share rate?
Great question. So Defdro is our mathematician, as everyone I'm sure has heard, and he is still working on the best formula that we can possibly have. He's very close, and we promise you guys this is like super important to us. Defdro has not done much in terms of like what we've just upgraded, the proposals, because he is hard at work, trying to figure out the share rate, the best mathematical formula, and the best way to implement it. So,
Cool.
That is very important to us. We're not just putting on the back burner, and we promise you guys. And so the share rate should be fixed as soon as possible.
Okay. And then, that share rate, is that something that's going to be voted on, or is that something that's just going to be implemented based on the best math? Share rate, as far as an exponential increasing share, structure, it's incredibly vital to the project.
You're right.
It can't be more vital than the idea of it's always increasing in price. If not, there is no incentive whatsoever for you to stake long or get in early or any of that matter. So I'm glad that it's being worked on. The question is, as far as these different strategies, is that something that's going to be open to the community, or is that just something that's going to be implemented?
So that's I think you're right. I think it should be actually, the community should know our new formula, and I think that might be something that we should maybe vote on.
Cool.
So I think I'll talk to Jack after this, and talk to the rest of the team, and maybe get something out there to you guys and let you guys know kind of what direction we're headed in.
So as it stands right now, it's frozen in time. Right now, the share rate is at 1.09.
It's frozen in time. So if you guys, this is the best time to get into the auction. This is the best time to stake, and this is kind of like that moment in time where we know something's up, and this is kind of your time to take advantage of that.
Cool.
Vitally important that gets sorted out. So yeah,
very.
It should be going up slowly, but should be going up a little bit every day.
Exactly.
So good.
Very good. All right, I think we have. I wanted to make sure we brought this up. So people keep hearing Gnosis. You keep saying Gnosis safe, whatever. Can you kind of just explain briefly kind of what that is and why that was important?
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah. So
it
Gnosis,
is Greek, right?
So Gnosis Safe is our multi-sig platform. So if you were to actually go to gnosis-safe.io, by the way, they're not paying me for this. You would actually be able to create an account that would be able to do things on the blockchain depending on how many signatures you get. So right now we have 2 Gnosis safes. We have one for the upgrading of the contract, and then we have one for the manager roles. And so the reason why we separated into 2 is because your upgrader cannot be any role associated to the contract. So that's why we have 2. And so both of them have the same exact rules. You need 4 or more signatures to actually let an upgrade go through or let some sort of transaction go through. And so the manager role has been upgraded to Gnosis Safe, and the manager role is no longer in control by just one person, who before was Jack.
Okay. I vote for Patricia to have a manager role to the Gnosis Safe. What do you think? You think that's something?
Well,
Patricia would be like, what do I do? I have no idea what it does, but thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, everyone.
knowledge in Greek.
So the last signature pays the gas fees. So hey, Patricia, sign up.
There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly. We've got Andy Wales in the chat saying Gnosis is esoteric knowledge of spiritual truth held by the ancient Gnostics to be essential to salvation. But in the case of this, of course, it's just basically knowledge.
Knowledge.
Yep.
All right. So next, I think everybody is, still kind of buzzing from Scott's proposal about our Axion venture mutual fund, or whatever we're going to call it. That proposal, I assume, is going to be in front of the general population soon and voted on. I'm curious, from the dev perspective, are you guys already kind of building the framework out for something like that? Because we're assuming it's going to be very popular and probably pass, depending on how it's written. But are you guys working on that yet?
I want to say yes, but the truth is, with the holidays and how fast we got this proposal out, we haven't started working on it yet. But I'm actually super excited to start. I've started to think about it, not implement it though.
Well, you guys, I know, turned around the update for this upgrade very quickly.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for, most people kind of taking some time off this past week, probably could have been implemented even sooner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the time of year, but you guys work very, very quickly, obviously. And
so unlike the auction manager, this is going to be something that I even suggesting that maybe we should get an audit on this specific code. I'm not really sure yet, but the Axion Venture Fund is going to have to definitely be very methodical, well thought out, well planned, and it's not something that I want to rush through, in my opinion, because this is definitely, I think, a future make it or break it, feature for Axion. For like it's where we're headed essentially, and if we do it wrong, there goes all our trust. And I think trust is big in this community. And I think every time we do something with this community, we try to make sure it's done perfect. Like today when we were doing the live stream, there was a moment where we all forgot that we needed to add a role to the auction manager, and we were just fumbling for like 20 minutes. And I'm just thinking in my head, oh my God, everyone's watching us. The trust of the community is just dying. So it's like I think we just want to keep the trust there, and we want to make sure that we just program it as perfect as possible. And I might even suggest throwing an audit onto that specific bit of code.
I think so. I think it's a crucial element that you're putting together. And, I don't think Axion's ever been shy as far as wanting to do audits and numerous amounts of them. So I think with something like that, with people just coming into the ecosystem, I think it would be wise to have it audited. Yeah.
People in the live chat are saying yes to the audit too.
Yeah.
Of course.
It makes sense. It makes sense to, like you said, to be uber diligent on and going through all of those paces to make sure, because it's such a big part of the future. So I'm sure the community, well, obviously it will be voted on, but it will probably, if it goes to a vote on the audit, then like Robbie said, we like to audit and bulletproof things as much as we can. So it definitely wouldn't hurt to have that tested.
I think the Axion motto is next audit or win audit.
Win audit.
Yeah, win audit. Yeah.
Win audit. And there is one other thing, Travis, you kind of gave me a little bit of inside info, but I wanted to make sure that we mentioned it, that there is going to be a pretty big redesign of the website and the portal coming up pretty soon as well.
Yes, exactly. We want to have just a fresh 2021, have all of this 2020 behind us. So that's going to include redesign. It's going to include, maybe even a little bit of, logo updates. We're just going to have a complete set. It's going to be way more professional than ever before. Axion is meant to be professional. We're going to be professional. And I hope, everything we're doing is just going to show the path that we're headed to.
Sounds
cool.
Good. Brighter colors. I mean, sounds like something a woman would say, but I like interior decorating, and I think bright colors would make it a more enjoyable experience to use.
Do we need the whole thing to kind of have a woman's touch?
Hey, we'll send it to Patricia first.
All right. I'll be
Well,
in charge
cool.
of colors.
Yeah, we'll actually have like a color like that. The cool thing about this redesign is we're going with a company that's very professional, and they're gonna have a complete color palette. Everything is we're gonna have a mood board. Everything is just gonna be right there for us. We're gonna be able to give our logos to everyone in the community. You guys will know what our logo is. I think right now every Axion token has had a different logo. It's all going to be the same logo now. It's going to have the color palette. And so I think, I was talking to Paul, I got to make sure I give him the color palette so that his website coming up has the exact same colors that we're looking for.
Yeah, even the Axion Today logo might have to change the way the Axion looks if it all goes that
That's right.
way. Yeah, but we're open to that, of course.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Cool. Well, thanks, Travis. Really appreciate the update. Again, congratulations to you and the dev team for all that you did just today, and we're looking forward to you guys get back to work, right? So, but anyway, thanks so much for walking through it. We really want to make sure that you guys get the credit for all of the hard work behind the scenes, because we know it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen unless you guys are burning the midnight oil, I'm sure, many, many nights. So thank you on behalf of the entire Axion Nation. Thank you for all your hard work.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to see what's next.
Sorry, go on, Patricia.
Well, I just mean, I noticed you've got a bottle of window cleaner on your kitchen counter, so it's nice to know that you're keeping things clean.
Actually, yesterday was our house cleaning day. So.
Oh yeah, I see.
Today is our organizing day, so we're gonna get that off the counter.
All right.
No, but seriously, thank you guys. We do it for you guys, and obviously we're all investors of Axion, but we want the community to join in our wealth with us. So
awesome stuff. All right, well, I guess we'll kind of transition. Travis, you gonna be able to hang around, or are you gonna head back to the green room, grab something, or you want to stay on the stream?
Oh, if you guys want to keep me on the stream, I'll stay.
We might have to reference if a question comes up. So yeah, let's just keep them on.
That's fine. Right. I'll stay on the stream. Let me just quickly take a bathroom break.
Oh, that's
all right.
And put away that window.
In the green room for the. Yeah.
We'll bring him back once he's done.
Well, yeah, the bathroom is in the green room, right? So
it's a really nice bathroom. It has a gold toilet. I made sure of that.
Such power, Paul. Paul has such power, just whipping people all around.
Yeah, exactly. My mouse just died, so now I got to use this. Oh man, so I don't know. I'll work on it later. Anyway, so that was cool. It was really cool to see that happening again live this morning on the stream. It's so cool that they do that, and we can kind of see it actually as they are, deploying and making the changes and that sort of thing. So I think we're going to switch gears now and really talk about the community and focus on the community, because what a year it's been. And it's hard to believe, like you said, Patricia, we're closing out 2020, this week. And could the future look any brighter for Axion right now with everything that we have going on? Could it? I mean, it's hard to think that it could be even better than it is now.
I'm excited. So is everybody in our live chat. And I want to just take a real quick moment to say hello to Carol and Quartz and Jade M and Prana Aum and Richard Hitchcock and Pantherman and Barnholt, people who've just joined in the past, couple of minutes or so. Everybody is in on this. Everyone who's in on this is excited, or they wouldn't be here. So it's a great feeling. Got that mouse fixed?
It is. It works. Okay. Got it fixed. That was rough. All right. So I think we've got some invites out for some folks to join us, I believe, Robbie. So in the meantime, let's bring onto the show for the very first time your favorite moderator and mine.
Yay.
I hope he's still there.
From Panama and from
Live from Panama. Big Bear, how you doing, man?
Crypto.
Hola, ¿cómo están a todos?
Hello.
We need a translator.
Are you enjoying a New Year's beverage? I know there's champagne back there, but we put some vodka there because we know you like vodka.
Yeah, vodka's my flavor of the day, so for sure.
Enjoy.
No, happy to be here. Thanks for the invite, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Travis is back, so he's a little bit lighter.
There we go.
Big Bear. So let's start talking a little bit about 2020. In the rearview mirror, there's a lot of good memories, some bad ones, but I mean, what's the biggest thing you're going to take away from your Axion experience so far?
Well, listen, for me, I mean, I've been with Axion literally since when it was born as Hex 2T. I am like like all of you Axion Today people and many of the people that belong to Axion, I am a Hex holder. I'm a Hex holder. I'm a Hex staker. And when I saw the Hex 2T project be launched, I was already a believer in the concept. So because I got into Hex a little bit late, I thought this would be the great opportunity to get on board of a similar project with some different things early. So I got involved, and you know, who knew that this project was going to evolve to what it is today?
Oh, your mic just died on us.
Yeah.
So
It sounds like a phone or something went doo doo doo, and then his audio
yeah,
went weird.
that's my notifications. It's probably my Twitter notifications
Okay,
coming
now
in.
you're good. Yes, it's muting you out.
Yeah, sorry. So I mean, obviously, it was a risk to get involved in a project with an anon founder so early in the game, given what the DeFi space has sort of started as and transitioned through, and what we're dealing with today. There it goes again. Sorry, guys.
Every time your notification goes off, your mic has a hiccup.
There, I think I just solved it.
Okay, cool.
Cool, you're back.
So yeah, you know, the project has come a long ways. The vision has always been strong. Jack has been a paramount leader as far as I'm concerned. He's always delivered when he said he was going to. He has maneuvered and you know, bobbed and weaved when we've needed to. He's built up a great core team around him with Jubbin, Jojo, Brainson. We got a number of things in there. You know, and the devs, I mean, you know, look at when the official launch happened, and I will be the first to say I was sitting at my desk and watched that Ren candle pierce through the bottom of my screen. And, you know, it was a moment that I will never, ever forget. But like I was talking with some of you guys in the green room before, everything that has happened to this project since its inception has brought us to where we are right now, to this day. And if I had to go through it all again, I would have no problem doing so to know where we are now. Now, why do I say that? I say that because crypto moves at such a fast pace. And you look at this whole thing started with Bitcoin and only Bitcoin. And now we have, you know, what, 2,500 plus projects in the ecosystem. So you look at how fast crypto moves, at the pace it moves, at the pace it evolves. And, you know, the people that are behind that are people like T-Deli and developers en masse. I would much rather, you know, I'll preface this by saying there's been, you know, some sentiment within the community and from outside the community about people who say, well, Axion is no longer a decentralized project because now we have layer 2, we have upgradable contracts, et cetera, et cetera. For me personally, and this is just only my opinion, and people can take it for what it's worth, I would much rather be involved and have way more comfort being involved with a project that has the ability to evolve at every step of the way as this ecosystem, specifically speaking crypto and specifically inside of that decentralized finance, continues to evolve. You know, at the beginning of this year, according to DeFi Pulse, there was approximately $670 million in digital assets locked by the DeFi ecosystem. And now we're probably well over 15 billion. And the year's just ending. So as we move forward, as the ecosystem moves forward,
Insane.
Isn't it actually kind of nice that we have the ability to steer this project to benefit itself and everybody that is involved with it? Meaning every single token holder, every single staker, everybody. The entire Axion ecosystem has the ability to evolve as crypto evolves. Like, I don't know. it's mind-blowing to me that the ability or all of the capabilities that we have moving forward. It's just, I feel blessed to be where we are. Given everything that's happened, I feel blessed to be at the point we are. Period.
Even with Ilya and the exploit, if that didn't happen, then we would be kind of like a person who has a horrible disease but doesn't know about it, going around planning their life. Eventually, that's going to come to the surface, and in the middle of your plans for your wonderful life, you will die. We wouldn't have known, and it could have been horrible a year, 2 years out if somebody found that and exploited us.
Well, sure,
exactly. So much more.
I agree. And the flip side to having us with the ability to have a contract multi-sig for protection, for decentralization, is the fact that what if we were an immutable contract with burned admin keys? We would not be able to evolve as the ecosystem evolves. We would not be able to upgrade, to be able to make improvements, to be able to do what's best for the community. And I say what's best for the community because everything that is done with this project is community governance. The transparency that is present in Axion is unprecedented. Where else are you going to get to see devs do a live upgrade on camera?
Where are you going to see? Where are you going to be able to see devs do a live rug pull live on camera? Pull the liquidity, right? The infamous last words of Travis. Yeah,
I'm still waiting for a rug pull meme.
Yeah. We're still waiting for that. I'm just teasing, but honestly, the transparency, and then I wouldn't worry too much about, just even messing up, because again, it shows you being genuine, shows you being honest, and no one's perfect. But again, you're doing these checks and double checks, but you're totally spot on when it comes to the level of transparency with the accounting, with the community dev team. Everything is just so beyond anything else out there in the crypto space.
Listen, I'm 51 years old now. And when I was in my early 20s, I was working at a job, and my boss came to me one day and he said, listen, I was frustrated about something. And he said, listen, the only thing constant in life is change. And when you're through changing, you're through. You're done. So, that I believe that philosophy envelops everything in life and everything that we're connected to. We're all evolving, we're all changing, and the world is going to continue pressing forward, and everything that surrounds us is always changing. So, being able to adapt is paramount for me.
I mean, if you guys think about it, Ethereum is adapting. What is Ethereum 2.0 besides an upgrade?
Exactly.
100%. Well, yeah.
People are mentioning, I see in chat there, cover. Travis, you brought this up earlier today before the show. There was something that was exploited. 6 months down the road, you said that they've been around. The importance of obviously making sure that the changes, to your earlier point, with audits and things like that, but being able to change with the times is important.
Right. And I've brought this up on Twitter quite a lot recently. It's like, unlike other projects, like Cover was safe. Then it went to Safe 2. Then it became Cover. When they literally made their users, constantly change platform, and now they're at Cover, and Cover is a malleable project, I believe, if I'm not uncertain. The reason why they're able to fix the audit, I mean, I've read this stuff. I'm not, maybe I need someone to fact check me, but I've heard that Cover actually fixed their exploit. So now it's safe to be in Cover, but still at the end of the day, the trust is gone there, but they were able to upgrade their platform 3 times, so yeah.
Well, I guess it goes more towards, with the big update, like we, potentially are talking about with the venture fund, is that we, do the due diligence there with audit and economic audit and code audit, and don't just rush in, hey, we have this ability to just change whatever. Let's not abuse that and just think that we can just do whatever. So that's also I think an important point as well. But Big Bear, what you're talking about is just so key. The fact that we can be flexible with, whatever the changing the times are, what the community wants, what the community needs. That can then, those are all, we have possibilities, it's going to be brought up for a vote. The dev team is going to dissect it, see how we can do it, have it audited, but we can change with the times. And one thing's for sure, this is a long-term deal. This is a get rich slow project. So we need to be able to think long-term and make changes, that are going to benefit those stakers that are out there for a year, for 5 years, for 5,555 days, people that are setting 5,555 stakes today, and ones that plan to do that as their stakes come due, and they're, maybe planning on taking the interest and restaking the principal and going out another 5,555 days. That's what we need to be planning for.
And Jeremy Norman, this is a perfect comment. Axion is changing how DeFi world sees itself. Decentralization doesn't mean immutable contracts. It means exactly what Axion is implementing. You're right. And why is Ethereum allowed to come out with Ethereum 2.0, but we can't come out with layer 2? Makes no sense. And honestly, I have so much trust in us. As far as I know, Ethereum's platform they've sold some of their Ethereum, I mean, the only thing we're doing is paying people and whatnot. So Jack hasn't sold any of his Axion at all. He doesn't even have Axion as far as I know. So
I always try and draw a parallel between crypto and legacy business, legacy finance, legacy business. Could you imagine if Elon Musk only ever had one shot at making Tesla right? Okay. Like that should be enough perspective for anybody to grasp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as I'm concerned, the way that Axion is being run, the way it has evolved, the way we've come from it, the inception to where we are now, should be a beacon for other projects moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a beacon of light for other projects to aspire to. Become transparent, become decentralized with the ability to evolve. Because without evolution, none of us are sitting here having this conversation today. Period.
Yeah, no, 100%.
exactly.
Spot on. Even the word decentralization, I mean, nothing really truly is 100% decentralized. It's just an impossibility if you actually stop and think about it. So I think a lot of people, get mixed up and they say, well, wait a minute, this thing has to be 100% decentralized. But really, there is no crypto that's 100% decentralized the way you look at it. But it's a far cry from the standard traditional markets and how they operate. And the level, like I said, of the transparency, you don't see this. You think Elon is like letting the whole community see them doing, upgrades live or, voting. Usually it's not done like that whatsoever. And this is the incredible thing about Axion moving forward and adapting for the future. And quite honestly, the brains and brilliance that are in this community are outstanding, incredible.
Sorry, I had to step away for a moment, but in the live chat, I was going to the points that you were making. Jeremy Norman says, Axion is changing how the DeFi world sees itself. Decentralization doesn't mean immutable contracts. It means exactly what Axion is implementing.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Really?
Great minds. Yeah.
About
We pulled up that comment. That's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. Same comment? Oh, great.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it was good. You recognized
it. It was a great comment. A ton. Yeah, he's just sitting back. He's like, "Yep, that was a good comment of mine."
And hey, sorry, I gotta go to one more comment. T Deli is the most important man. Listen, man, it's not me. Okay, it's all the dev team. I could not do this without the dev team. I just want, I may be right now the face right now. It is not me. It is every single person on the dev team. It is not me. It is everyone. That's all I can say. And thank everyone on the dev team, not just me.
Right.
Please.
That's right. I mean, cool to see. We got to see their faces.
What are the usernames? Just so for the community to know, if they see them on Discord, if you do know the usernames, maybe just mention them, Travis, that you could explain.
Deftro, Imkrish, Audiosyn, and Envy. They are, including myself, we call ourselves the core 5, So we're the core 5 devs, we're adding, more devs. We have some green guy. He's fucking amazing. I'm sorry. He is amazing. And so Pete C is actually has actually tested us the last couple of days. Maybe a new guy, but he's tested us on how we are doing a couple of things. And he actually had a couple good ideas that we actually implemented for the auction manager. So I mean, dude, it's just everyone. It's such an amazing dev team. Like the fact that none of us actually know each other in real life, it's just such an amazing experience to be a part of.
And Audio Sin was on with you a couple shows ago already. So
yes, and Audio Sin is the beautiful man, as everyone remembers.
Well, like you said, we got such a great group of developers that emerged, with the with what happened and having to get us back to what we all believe we could be, after that exploit. So it was just so cool to see how things developed. And I'm still shocked at how I have to believe that there's a higher power at work here because of the way this is all going down. We shouldn't even be here talking today. We really shouldn't be with what happened, and to be able to sit here and go, Axion's future has never been brighter, and it just continues because of the people that are involved. This project has something for everybody. You got the techie stuff, you got the all of that, but you've got some real people here and that really care about this thing. And I mean, this is like reality TV it doesn't have much on this project and what's been going on and how this has all happened, and it's just really remarkable. I really just kind of pinch myself and go, how are we even still here? We went to zero twice. The second time was on purpose, but we went to zero twice.
Yes.
Anyway, so I'm just blown away by this, and 2020 in the rearview mirror. That's good for a lot of reasons, but 2021 is looking pretty good. I got
a question for Big Bear, going back to what you were saying, but what was initially the first thing that really drew you to the project? I mean, obviously you were curious, but what's really made you go, whoa, there's something here? What was it? I'm curious.
I think originally it was about the buybacks. It was about not all the money going to the OA.
Sure. So it was the big difference in the structure of the OA not getting 50% of everything.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously the project has been reiterated as we've gotten to here, but that was the original. I mean, I got the whole concept.
Gotcha.
Of what Hex was about and what Axion was trying to improve upon. So that was, for me, that was enough for me to jump in the pool.
So you as a Hex investor, someone that came, from that project, you still think it is a good idea to completely 110% separate at all from any type of trace with Hex, whether it's free claims, whether it's all the, I guess, baggage in ways before it was looked at as kind of an embracing of that community, but we know how that turned out. So you are in favor of the direction it's going as a Hex investor?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite comfortable with taking that path. I think there are similarities, obviously, but there's so much more innovative stuff being done with Axion moving forward that we don't need to rely on anybody else. I think we've already proven, or not, I say we very loosely, but that Axion has proven to this point to stand out from the rest just by the transparency that we've given, by the ability to evolve, to improve things. So no, I think it's important that we do move out from underneath the shadow of Hex and stand on our own and continue to put forth initiatives and good things.
In ways that Axion died. The way I look at it, in ways that old Axion that was kind of, complementary or almost like wanting to attach itself to Hex, it died. It's already died. The new rebirth of Axion moving forward is completely different. Obviously with layer 2, all of these different dynamics, but really it died. That old kind of vision of what Axion was, it really doesn't resemble anything like that it used to be. And quite honestly, it died, right? So that rebirth is something brand new, which to me is very exciting.
And Hex was our father, and we moved away from home and are now living on our own and supporting ourselves. And
another great analogy.
We can always count on Patricia with analogies. There you go. We're on our own now.
We grew up and we got out on our own, and now we have our own life.
Exactly. And Hart is something we don't have. We don't have one Richard Hart. All of us collectively are Richard Hart together. You know, we are the force behind Axion, like he is the force behind Hex. So,
and I honestly think personally for myself that you're going to see decentralized finance evolve, like a lot more other projects that are going to follow, and many projects that are already existing. I think you're going to see a lot of other projects moving to a layer 2 solutions to allow themselves to evolve as well. Because, like I said, when your code is immutable and you have no wiggle room or no way to bob and weave with how the ecosystem as a whole is evolving, you're going to become antiquated really, really fast. So I think you're going to see a lot of other projects starting to adopt layer 2 solutions to allow them to grow.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'll probably be able to look at Axion as one that successfully did that, you know, and kind of a, making it feasible, you know, and seeing that it can be done, and there's a right way to do it and obviously a wrong way. But I don't know, you 5 core devs look at it as setting some new standards in the space. You think beyond Axion and see what, you know, what are the ripples in the pond, you know, for all of crypto when it comes to being flexible and being able to do these things as the needs of the community change.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. I think we all just think it's super cool that we continue to stream, you know, the updates and do this and that. I think, you know, we're hoping maybe this kind of changes DeFi space a little bit. Like, why aren't you live streaming your launch of your, you know, whatever your coin is named? Why not? What are you scared of? You know, I think that's really what it comes down to.
Others will do it too in the future. But remember, you saw it here first.
Right.
That's right.
It's a good question. Why would you not? Yeah, why wouldn't you do that? You're talking about transparency, and Axion has, with Jack's leadership, has demonstrated that is how we are always going to operate. And other projects that that are going to emerge in 2021 and beyond, you'd have to think that they would see those things and realize that, well, that's kind of the standard now, or that's the way you should do it, because there's going to be a lot of questions if you don't do it the way that Axion did. I don't know, just thinking out loud, you know.
I think a lot of coins are trying to fix that. Like, I think there's a couple new coins that are like, oh, you know, or like Trust Swap, you know, use Trust Swap and make everyone trust you. I mean, yeah, that's good and all, but I mean, I think we've seen a couple projects where Trust Swap was named and people went into it and they got rug pulled. I'm not saying that was Trust Swap's fault, because I think they actually moved away from, they made their process a lot more rigorous to be involved with Trust Swap. But I mean, just showing your face, showing who you are, I think it makes a project a lot more transparent. And, and to be honest, like, now that we have this Core 5 dev team, now that you guys know who we are, it's like, I just think it makes it even more transparent than it was before. And I mean, sure, Jack isn't, you know, sure, Jack is anonymous, but he may be anonymous, but at the end of the day, I've never met someone who's more transparent and anonymous at the same time. It's crazy, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't fault somebody for wanting to not show their face, and you can't fault somebody for wanting to show their face.
And technically, he doesn't even like he can't do anything to the project. He really can't. At the end of the day, the project now is the community hands. His manager address, it no longer exists. It's now the Gnosis safe. You know, the only thing Jack is really doing at this point is just collecting the OA and leading where Axion is going next, essentially.
In our world, we've had a lot of people who have used their real names and shown their faces. I'm not talking crypto, I'm talking the world and everything that goes on. Real name, real face, and they've screwed us over big time in multiple areas of life. So it's no indication of a good person or a safe situation when somebody is showing their face and name. I mean, you have to take it on a case-by-case basis. So with Jack, I think all of us at this point feel fantastic about him.
It's not all. It's not so much.
I'm almost there. I'm almost cracked the code who Jack is, but we'll stay tuned for that one.
I think Big Bear had mentioned it again. When you just see the level of transparency and being in it as long as, you know, many of us have been, you just see it time and time again. Jack delivers. If he says something's going to happen, it happens, right? and that alone, if you're sitting on the fence and you're like, I don't know, I'm a little nervous, anonymous, who's that? Just go into announcements on Discord and go back to the beginning of June and just follow the course of everything that's transpired. And it's just amazing. It's amazing to see. So there's something very, very special about the project, this community, the team, everything. And quite honestly, do you think all these people that are flocking into Bitcoin care that there's no founder? I mean, nobody knows who, and I know it wasn't Craig Wright, but the fact is no one really knows, and it doesn't stop it. I mean, it just passed Visa as far as market cap. I mean, the thing is just a runaway train. No one cares, right? So this whole idea that, it's really important that we have someone behind it and a face, it doesn't fly with crypto. A lot of people can make that argument, but really in crypto, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let the project speak for itself. Let the people be the voice. And quite honestly, that's kind of what crypto is designed to be, is to get rid of any type of people, middleman, and just let her go. So I know.
So then where do you think about this transparent, launching live then? Are you still in favor of that being something that should happen in all
I think it's
projects?
awesome. No, I think I think it's totally cool. I think it's one-upping pretty much anyone else out there, right? So it's kind of like, it's not like do it or not do it. It's awesome because no one else is doing it. How cool is it that all of a sudden there's going to be a major change and all of a sudden you're going to watch it being deployed live. You're going to be able to see it. It's there, It's like a record in history. It's literally kind of on the blockchain, although someone needs to back it up because YouTube could just, smash the channel and the way it goes. My point is, though, it's recorded, it's live, and you're not holding anything back, right? You're not hiding anything from the community. To me, it's just one-upping pretty much any other quote unquote transparent or genuine community project out there when you do something to that degree. I was surprised. For one, it was that one-off, it was one thing, but then all of a sudden it was like, and these upgrades are going to be done live as well too. And it always kind of follows up with Axion today, where all of a sudden you can go deeper and kind of explain your process and what really happened, because people have got a lot of questions, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions here today, but it's really cool that everything is done live with Axion. Something happens, and then there's kind of a live stream while it's happening, and then also kind of a community get together where we all can kind of discuss it. That doesn't happen. Name any other crypto where that's happening. It's not happening. So I love being separate from the rest, standing out, and just being remarkable in everything that we stand for.
Shane Walker has a question to you, T. Daly. He says, is there a risk of exposing the code online live?
No, actually, our GitHub has all of the code on it. We're transparent now. There was only a moment in time when we had all the contracts private, but that's obviously because we were doing the layer 2, but you can just go right to our GitHub and check it out. I know that the current website has Rockin' Block's GitHub. I can post the GitHub in general chat later for everyone to kind of go view. But there's no problem exposing our code. Everything we do should be transparent, and everyone should be able to see what we're doing in the future. So
Jade M says the dev live stream is definitely awesome. Silences the futters about devs doing shady stuff. Can't say that when it's shown live. So good.
Yeah, you guys got to see us freaking out a little bit today, but we got everything going perfect.
The best is when all of a sudden you run into a problem and you're like, oh no, why is it not working? It's supposed to be working. Oh no, it's not working. That's really funny. Eh? I always get a kick out of it because every stream we do this one. Did we forget everything? Did we forget anything? Did we? Oh no, we forgot something. And everyone's like freaking out. They're on pins and needles watching surgery.
Dude, I was definitely like, oh man. It was so funny because I actually had to step away for a second. I had to step away for 5 minutes. I had to do something. And that was the middle of the crisis. But I literally could not step away. I had to quickly call someone, and it was already scheduled, but it was hilarious. But we figured it out. It was great. It was a great time.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Ethan has a question, and he's had to ask it a couple times, and he's asking if I'm ignoring him. No, I'm not. He says, it was said the last live with the devs, maybe Travis, you remember, that the old Axion would be taken off CoinGecko, and he still sees it on there. So does anybody know what gives on that?
Okay, so right now it is holiday season. Etherscan is slow. CoinGecko is slow. Dex Tools is slow. Everyone, everything that requires some sort of customer support is super slow right now. I actually did the Etherscan thing last week, and I haven't even been able to get a message back from them. I actually sent them another message today after we did the launch, and I'm still waiting to hear back. So hoping that everything gets settled soon. I mean, obviously having a high Dex Tool score is really good, but we're getting there. Just give us 30 days.
There we
Cool.
go. We should just move to questions.
Yeah, we've kind of been doing Q&A pretty much off
We're
and
down
on.
to the last 15 minutes of the show, so it's
Yeah.
good. Let's get to the community questions. And
Ian Evelyn doesn't really have a question, but a good statement, who says, nothing goes as planned in IT. The greatness comes when you can solve issues on the fly. Great work, devs.
Appreciate it. Yeah. The amount of times I've launched a bug into an app, can't even tell you guys. So
I saw another good question. Oh, Warmack says, when do we get twice a week liquidity? I think this is the major update we're all excited about, since it'll let us survive the longer stakes.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Week.
Warmax.
Rephrase your question.
yeah,
differently.
rephrase the question. Yeah, I'm not sure either what he's saying there.
Here's a good question.
Is there
Try-
anything in the contract that can be done?
Yes,
with gas prices. That was another
great
one.
question.
Yeah, everyone's complaining about gas.
And some people, speaking of Hex, they have compared them as unstaking, and it's significantly cheaper. So I don't know if it's just bad code, as far as bloated code. I shouldn't say bad code, but bloated code that could be, refined. I don't know. Maybe you can comment on, is that what you've seen in the code, that it's kind of a little bit bloated, not written, not coded, kind of as lean as it should be?
Yes and no. I mean, I think we just kind of need to kind of go back and look at how the unstake works and really kind of see for ourselves what's happening. I mean, we obviously know how the unstake works, but there's probably something in the code that we can do to minimize those gas prices. And we're definitely gonna look at that in the future. Right now, obviously, we can only do one thing at a time, but definitely gas prices are something that's in our radar.
So in the meantime, guys, don't stake anything short, and don't stake anything small, long, and big, and you don't have to worry about those gas fees.
There you go. There you go.
And never sell Axion.
Yeah, never sell.
Yes. No.
And if you have to do something, when the gas price is something crazy, realize that's just a crazy thing and wait a little bit and it'll go down. I mean, patience, my friends.
Clarification. Yeah, go ahead, Patricia. You see.
Here, who says the twice a week liquidity is what he was talking about. Bitcoin, Ethereum, that Scott talked about.
The venture.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be for a while.
Sure.
Yeah, probably like in the next month or two. I mean, I'm not gonna say a month, but I'm not gonna say longer than 2 months.
It's safe to say the first quarter of 2021. Is that safe to say?
That's
First
very
quarter
good.
2021. There we go.
Thanks.
Well-
Warmax and Skybank 23 and Hex Alt Ed and Shane Walker all were clarifying Warmax's point.
Yeah, it's going to take some time, obviously, especially if we want to do some auditing of the code, just to make sure, there's the testing and the auditing as well after you guys build it. And first of all, it's got to be voted on and passed by the community. And how specifically is that going to work? We've got some stuff to work out, but it's it's such a cool idea, and to see how it's going to work and how it's going to evolve the next 30 to 60 days is that's potentially going to be what our story is in 2021, how we come out of the gates here. So it's just going to be so cool to see it happen.
What's the ETA on the liquidity amplifier? I know there's a lot of talk. Obviously, you've had a lot of stuff on your plate as far as priorities, but is that still something that you're looking at accomplishing? Is it something that Jack's kind of doing, third party? He mentioned that there's other things you can just do, get it audited, and then get that running within a month. But is there any discussion around the liquidity amplifier? I know a lot of people are interested in that.
Yeah, the liquidity amplifier, we actually talked about it as soon as we finished the launch. It's like, oh, what's next? Well, what's next is actually the liquidity amplifier. So
Okay.
I think he already posted in the announcements. I don't remember, but that's one of the next things we're looking at. Like I said, there's so much to do. We have 5 of us, but each one of us can probably help each other out, and we're going to get there. But liquidity amplifier is definitely next on the plate, as well as the venture auction and looking at the gas prices as well. So all those are kind of coming in with each other. And you guys have to remember, it's holiday season, so the fact that we got all these things out so fast is
absolutely. We're absolutely grateful and appreciative. And it's kind of like, I'm sure that developers hear this all the time, devs, it's like one of the things over and over and over again. It's like, yeah, awesome. That was an amazing job. So when is this? When is this? When is this? When is this coming? When is this coming? It's just nonstop, right? So it's unfortunate you guys get that. It's like, but yeah, no, it's appreciated. And obviously you need to get some downtime as well too. That's why I always say it's better to be like, guys, in the next 2 to 3 months, we're going to have that done, rather than, putting yourself in a box where you're like, oh, we're going to try to get that done in a couple of weeks. When then everyone's bugging you in a couple of weeks saying, hey, you said a couple of weeks. So I know how it is. Yeah.
I'm always the type of guy that's like, oh, this feature is going to take 10 hours. Nah, tell them 50 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good. It's smart. I mean, it's smart because then you surprised a lot of people on how quickly you implemented. A lot of people thought, oh, it'll probably take 2 to 3 weeks to get that done, or a couple of weeks, but you had that done in days.
Right.
From
I
the
think
vote.
January 15th was like the supposed day we were supposed to get it done.
Yeah.
And we did it before the end of the year.
Yeah. That's always a great way to do it, is have those expectations.
Well, Travis, we saw your dog walk by, but we have a question from Luann, who has a very cute dog as well, and vying for cutest dog on this show. He writes, should we do a warning on auctions that are sold out? People invest without reading white papers. Some kind of warning banner or thing that comes up.
So this is what I'm going to say. I've said this like 100 times, but obviously it's just in my opinion. It's called an auction. All right. It's there's no set price. It's whatever the auction comes down to. Now, do I think that once it's gone to a price, it's like, okay, you guys need to stop putting Ethereum in there. Maybe we should do a warning. I definitely think that we should, but you have to remember it's an auction, right? Like the price of Axion is not determined. The only thing that is determined is it has to be less than the 7-day average, or sorry, more than the 7-day average or whatever. Right. And so I don't think we're going to allow you to not put money into the auction, but I think we can definitely put like, hey, by putting your Ethereum into the auction, you're basically saying that the price of Axion is higher than the Uniswap price. So
we need something that says beep, beep, common sense alert, flash.
Are you calculating that with a referral though? Would you be calculating that just based on just somebody coming there without a referral or with a referral? Because you'd have to take that into consideration.
Well, what if I said we would just do it once the price is 50%?
Yeah.
I think that makes the most sense in my opinion. Like once it's 50%, like, yeah, I would agree. We should probably do something, but until it gets to a certain level, it's like, it's an auction, there's no set price. Well, if it wasn't like it's not called get Axion for cheap by coming here and putting your Ethereum. No, it's an auction.
Yeah. I don't think you really need a big disclaimer because like you mentioned, it's an auction. And quite honestly, there's some people out there that like to buy expensive stuff. Look at a lot of Apple products. I mean, they like it because it's expensive, right? So there are people that maybe want to go in. So yeah, that's the thing, right? So
well, the referral piece.
I'm just put this out there. I'm an Apple developer, so that hurt a little bit, Robbie.
I use Apple. I'm just saying. Well, are you going to be getting the $800 headphones that just came out? Everyone's talking about how expensive they are, but it's a premium. Apple is good. Don't get me wrong. I use both, but I'm saying Apple's good, but there's a premium. Everyone can agree that they charge a premium for their products as a prestige product.
Yeah, I like how they all mesh together. To me, that's the convenience aspect for a non-tech person. It makes tech so much easier when everything kind of works together.
So see, we're going to mesh everything together perfectly so we can charge a premium. See, there you go. All good, right? It will be more expensive in our auctions than on Uniswap because you're coming to a very, very good ecosystem.
And we're nice too.
And we're nice, yeah. We could charge a nice tax.
At the end of our show, I do want to mention a couple things just briefly to touch on that we hopefully are going to have Jeff Kardakis on, and we're shooting for a January 11th date for that show. But it might not happen because you know how life is. But that happens to be Robbie's birthday.
Oh, no, it's happening. It's my birthday. And I'm telling Jeff, you're coming on to the show. It's my birthday. That's my one thing I want. I even told my wife, I want Jeff Kardakis to come on the show. So if you're letting me down, if you're not coming on, Jeff, just telling you that right now. So you send this to Jeff. He even thinks of bowing out.
Thrown down. I also want to hint at, but not completely go into details, about an opportunity for you to score big with something that we've got planned that's major in 2021. And it's courtesy of the Axion Today team. I can't say anything more than that because
we think it's pretty big. We think it's gonna be pretty big. We're gonna have a contest, and it's gonna be in 2021. Don't know all the details yet, but we think it's gonna be pretty cool. So
it'll be exciting.
It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. It'll be for the entire community to be involved in.
Win, whatever word you want to use. So stay tuned for that on the show.
That's right.
You can find Axion today everywhere, even probably under your bed if you look hard enough. Like us wherever we are found. Follow us, subscribe. We're on YouTube. We are on DLive, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, iTunes. Speaking of Apple, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, weirdest name ever, Spreaker, and Bitly, Google Play. So yeah, find us there and follow us there, like us there, subscribe, or whatever it is that those particular platforms make you do. What else? Was there anything else?
I'll make sure that we say thanks to Big Bear Crypto for coming
Yes.
on, because it was so cool to get to hear from you, buddy, from all the way from Panama.
Yes, exactly.
Sticking around.
And you know, Big Bear, you said you had vodka and you like vodka, so pick up your glass of vodka, even if we can't see you holding it. Everybody raise your glass. Travis, you've got a White Claw there. Is that a cherry White Claw?
No, it's a lemon one.
Somebody was saying it was cherry in the chat. Thank you,
also
live chat.
Have some BV
Lovely.
later tonight.
Nice.
Happy New Year's to everyone.
Let's do a Happy New Year toast to the Axion Nation. May all of our hard work pay off, and blessings and good fortune to all who are part of putting this all together, including the topic of our show, the dev team. Thanks to all who watched as well. And Robbie and Paul, to you too. Happy New Year, everyone. And relax
With
Axion.